All right, welcome back. Today, we are diving into something you're going to use all the time in Korean. We're talking about the grammar of gossip, of news, of updates, basically how to say I heard or they say. It's essential, and you're about to learn how to use it just like a native speaker. So think about it. You're scrolling on your phone, you see a crazy headline, or a friend tells you some juicy news. What's the first thing you want to do? You want to tell someone else, right? It's a situation we're in constantly, and lucky for us, Korean has the absolute perfect tool for the job. And this is it. This is the secret weapon. This tiny little ending, nian ninde. This suffix is pretty much your golden ticket to saying I heard or they say in the most natural way possible. It's everywhere in daily conversation, and we're going to master it today. So, what exactly is this thing? Well, it's a grammar pattern that you tack onto the end of a verb or an adjective when you're passing along information that you didn't see with your own two eyes. And what's really cool is that it's actually shorthand. It's a contraction of a longer, slightly more formal phrase, tabohe. That's why it sounds so quick and conversational, because it is. Okay, so let's get our hands dirty. The best way to understand this is to just take a real sentence and pull it apart, piece by piece. This is where it's all going to click. So our example sentence is 내일 쉰대. Let's imagine you wanted to go to your favorite coffee shop tomorrow, but your friend just texted you saying they saw a sign that it's going to be closed. This is exactly what you'd say to another friend who was planning to go with you. Now, let's look under the hood. First up, we've got 내일, which, means tomorrow. Easy enough. Then you have 쉰, which comes from the verb 쉬다, to rest, or in this context, to be closed. And finally, the star of our show, 대, which packs the whole meaning of I heard that, or they say. You put it all together and bam, I heard they're closed tomorrow. It's that logical. Okay, so you've seen how it works, right? Now for the fun part. Let's get to the blueprint so you can start building these sentences yourself. And trust me, the rules are way more straightforward than you might think. All right, the rules are pretty simple, and it all comes down to what kind of word you're using. Let's start with the easiest one, adjectives. For descriptive words like pretty or big, you just slap 대 right onto the stem. Done. For action verbs, there's just one tiny extra step. If the verb stem ends in a consonant, like 먹다, to eat, you add ninde to get 먹는데. If it ends in a vowel, like 가다, to go, you use ninde, which makes it 간대. Okay, grammar lessons over, pencils down, because now we're going to get into what really matters, the vibe check. How does this actually sound and feel in a real conversation? What's the nuance? This right here, this is the number one way you're going to use this. Your friend, let's call him friend A, tells you, hey, I can't go tomorrow. When you pass that news on to friend B, you'd say, 내일 못 간대. See what happened? You're not stating it as your own personal fact. You're clearly signaling that this is secondhand information. It's perfect for updating people in a group chat. Now, what about politeness levels? You can't talk to your boss the same way you talk to your best friend, right? Well, check out how simple this is. By itself, 대 is casual. It's what you'd use with friends or people younger than you. But to make it polite, you just add 요 to the end. 쉰대 becomes 쉰대요. That's it. This little switch makes the pattern incredibly useful in pretty much any social situation you can think of. Let's just run through a few more absolute must-know phrases. You check the weather app on your phone. You tell your friend, 비 온대. I heard it's going to rain. You hear some big news about a friend. 걔 결혼한대. I heard they're getting married. Someone tells you a movie was awesome. 그 영화 재미있대. I heard that movie is fun. These are the kinds of sentences you'll hear and use literally every single day. All right, you've seen the theory, you've seen the examples. Now it's your turn. Let's take this for a quick test drive just to make sure you've really nailed the core nuance here. Okay, so here's the scene. You're heading out the door, you grab your umbrella, and your roommate looks at you and asks, why are you taking an umbrella? So you've got two ways to answer. You could say A, 비와, which is a direct statement of fact. It is raining. Or you could go with B, 비 온대, which means I heard it's going to rain. Now let's say you haven't actually looked outside, but you just saw the weather forecast on your phone. Which answer is the correct one? Is it A or is it B? The answer is B. If you said B, you are spot on. And this little example perfectly shows the whole point. You'd only say 비와 if you're literally looking out the window and can see the rain falling. But since your information came from an outside source, the weather forecast, you have to use 비 온대 to show you're relaying what you heard. That distinction is absolutely key to sounding natural. Let's do a few rapid-fire drills just to burn this into your brain. Ready? Your friend tried a new place and said the food was incredible. You'd tell someone else, 맛있대. Awesome. You heard your friend is hitting the books hard for an exam. You'd say, 공부한대. Perfect. Your boss announces the deadline is today and there's no more time. You'd pass that on as 없대. See? You've totally got this. So there you have it, the complete guide to joining the Korean rumor mill. It's such a tiny piece of grammar, but it unlocks a massive part of everyday real-world conversation. So I'll leave you with a little challenge. What's the first piece of news you heard today that you can now share using nian, niande? Go out there and give it a try. Thanks for watching.